It always happens the same way. The house is dark, everyone is asleep, and then it comes through the floor and into your chest before you're even fully awake. A single, heavy thump. Then silence. You lie there listening, heart suddenly beating a little faster, straining to hear what your rabbit heard. A car outside? A pipe in the wall? Nothing. The house is silent. And then it comes again. Thump. You get up, you check on them, and you find your rabbit sitting bolt upright in the dark, ears towering, body rigid, eyes fixed on something across the room that simply isn't there. Most owners shrug it off. Just a noise, just a habit, just a weird rabbit thing. But here's what almost everyone misses. That thump in the dark is one of the most ancient, most meaningful, and most misunderstood things your rabbit will ever do. And once you understand what's really happening in those silent midnight moments, you will never hear that sound the same way again. Let's start with what the thump actually is, because it was never just a noise. When your rabbit slams a hind foot against the floor, they are not throwing a tantrum, and they are not bored. They are broadcasting an alarm. In the wild, rabbits live in vast underground warrens, networks of tunnels where dozens of animals sleep in darkness they cannot see through. Sound and vibration are how they survive down there. When one rabbit senses danger, a scent, a shadow, a vibration in the earth, it does the one thing that can save the entire colony. It drives a powerful hind foot into the ground, sending a shockwave through the tunnels that every other rabbit feels in their own body before they hear a single thing. That thump is a word. It means danger, freeze, be ready. And the rabbit thumping in your living room at 3 in the morning is using a signal so old it predates anything we would recognize as language. A warning that has echoed through the burrows of their ancestors for millions of years. Your rabbit isn't being dramatic. They are doing the single most important job a rabbit in a warren can do. They are standing watch. And by the way, if your rabbit has started thumping far more than they used to, don't dismiss it, because we'll get into what a sudden change in thumping really means at the very end, and it's something most owners wish they had paid attention to sooner. But here's the part that stops people in their tracks. Your rabbit is thumping for you. Think about what's actually happening in that moment. Your rabbit has sensed something, real or imagined, and their first instinct, hardwired across countless generations, is to warn the colony. But there is no colony. There is no warren full of sleeping rabbits depending on their alarm. There is just you, asleep in the next room. And your rabbit thumps anyway. They are sounding the alarm for their group, and you are their group. In their mind, you are warren mates, family, the ones who must be woken and warned when danger is near. That heavy thump that pulled you out of sleep was not a complaint. It was your rabbit doing everything in their power to protect you from a threat they believe is real, using the only warning system their biology ever gave them. You went to check on them thinking something was wrong with the rabbit, but in the rabbit's mind, they were the one checking on you. Now here's what makes those midnight thumps so eerie. Your rabbit is reacting to a world you literally cannot perceive. We tend to assume that if we can't hear or smell or see anything, then nothing is there. But your rabbit lives inside a completely different sensory reality, and the gap between what they detect and what we detect is enormous. Start with their hearing. A rabbit's ears are not just for show. They can rotate independently, swiveling towards sound like two satellite dishes, and they pick up frequencies far higher than the human ear can register. The high-pitched whine of electronics, the ultrasonic squeak of a mouse in the wall, the distant call of an animal outside, sounds that are completely silent to you are loud and clear to them. Then there's vibration. Those same powerful hind legs that deliver the thump also feel the faintest tremors traveling through your floor, the footsteps of someone walking outside, a truck passing blocks away, movement in another part of the house. And their sense of smell operates on a level we can barely imagine, reading scents on the air that tell them an animal passed by, that a door opened somewhere, that something in the environment has changed. So when your rabbit freezes and thumps at empty space in the dark, the space is only empty to you. To them, the night is alive with information. They are not imagining a threat. They are responding to a real signal in a world that is far richer, far louder, and far more detailed than the one you experience. And if this is changing the way you think about your rabbit, take a moment to like and subscribe, because we explore what rabbit behavior actually means, not what we assume it means, and it helps more rabbit owners truly understand the animal living beside them. The fourth thing you need to understand is why it almost always happens at night, and the answer reveals something fundamental about who your rabbit really is. Rabbits are crepuscular, wired by evolution to be most active and most alert at dawn and at dusk, the dim hours when their wild ancestors emerged to feed. But their vigilance doesn't switch off when the sun goes down. In many ways, it sharpens. The night is when predators move. The night is when a rabbit in the wild is most exposed and most dependent on sound and vibration rather than sight, because in darkness, the ears and the feet matter more than the eyes. So while you experience night as the time your guard comes all the way down, your rabbit experiences it as the time their guard must come all the way up. The quiet house that feels safe and still to you feels to your rabbit like exactly the kind of environment in which danger arrives. Every small sound carries further in the silence. Every vibration is easier to feel without the noise of the day drowning it out. Your rabbit, sitting alert in the dark while you sleep, is running on an ancient schedule that says, "This is the dangerous time. This is when you watch." They are not keeping you up to be difficult. They are simply awake and alert in the hours their biology insists are the most important ones to survive. There's something deeper hidden in this too, something worth sitting with. A rabbit that thumps is a rabbit that has not given up on its world. It might sound strange, but the alarm is, in its own way, a sign of an animal still fully engaged with life, still scanning, still caring, still trying to protect what matters to it. The thump is loud, demanding, impossible to ignore, and that is exactly the point. It is a prey animal refusing to be silent, refusing to simply hide and hope. In the warren, the rabbit that thumps is the rabbit doing its part for everyone. So when your rabbit fills your dark house with that heavy, echoing warning, understand that you are hearing an animal that is engaged, alert, and deeply invested in the safety of its group. The thump is not weakness or paranoia, it is participation. It is your rabbit saying, "I am here, I am watching, and I will not let danger come for us in silence." The fifth thing is the one almost no one notices, and it's about what your rabbit does in the moments after the thump. Watch closely the next time it happens. After that single heavy strike, your rabbit doesn't relax. They hold. They freeze in place, ears locked forward, muscles coiled, completely motionless, reading the response of the world to their alarm. In the wild, this stillness is critical. After sounding the warning, a rabbit waits to learn whether the threat moves, whether other rabbits react, whether the danger reveals itself. They are gathering information in the seconds of silence that follow. And here is the remarkable part. Your rabbit is also watching you. If you come into the room calm, unhurried, your body relaxed, your voice soft, your rabbit reads that. They are studying your reaction to decide whether the threat was real. You are, in that moment, a member of the colony whose response carries information. If the rest of the warren stays calm, perhaps the danger has passed. This is why the way you respond to a midnight thump actually matters to your rabbit. Storm in tense and alarmed, and you confirm their fear, telling them, yes, something is wrong. Stay frightened. Come in slow and quiet and unbothered, and you send the opposite signal. The message that the warren is safe, the alarm can stand down, everyone can breathe again. Without realizing it, you have been part of their threat assessment system all along. So what does it mean when the thumping changes? This is what I mentioned at the very beginning, and it's the part every rabbit owner needs to understand most. Because your rabbit's thumping is a window into how safe they feel, a sudden shift in that pattern is one of the clearest messages they can send you. If a rabbit that rarely thumped suddenly begins thumping constantly, night after night, something in their world has changed, and they are telling you they no longer feel secure. A new pet whose scent drifts through the house, a new sound, a new appliance, a change in the building, a routine that has been disrupted. To you, it might be invisible or trivial. To your rabbit, whose entire ancestry survived by noticing exactly these kinds of shifts, it can feel like the ground itself has become uncertain. A rabbit that has begun thumping far more than usual is a rabbit asking you to look closely at their environment and find what changed, because something has frightened them and they have not been able to make it stop. But there is another change that matters just as much, and it's the one owners are most likely to miss, because it's the absence of a sound rather than the presence of one. A rabbit that always used to thump at the slightest disturbance and then suddenly goes quiet. A rabbit that stops reacting, stops standing watch, stops engaging with the night, may not be calmer. They may be unwell. Remember that the thump is a sign of an engaged, alert animal still invested in its world. When a rabbit grows silent and withdrawn, when the vigilance fades and they sit hunched and unresponsive in the dark where they used to spring to attention, that withdrawal can be one of the earliest signs that something is wrong inside them. Rabbits are masters at hiding illness, because in the wild, a visibly weak animal is the first one a predator takes, so by the time their distress is obvious, it is often already serious. A rabbit that has lost the spark that used to make it thump is a rabbit worth watching very carefully, and if anything else seems off, it is a rabbit worth taking to a vet who knows rabbits well. The point of all of this is simple, and it's worth holding on to the next time that sound pulls you out of sleep. When your rabbit thumps in the dark, they are not malfunctioning, and they are not being a nuisance. They are doing the oldest, most selfless thing their species knows how to do. They are standing guard in a world full of dangers you cannot perceive, and they are sounding the alarm for their family, which now means you. They have taken a post no one assigned them, and they show up for it, night after night, in the silence of a sleeping house, because somewhere deep in their wiring is the unshakable belief that this group is theirs to protect. So the next time you hear that heavy thump roll through the floor and into your chest at 3 a.m, don't be annoyed and don't be afraid. Go to them slowly, speak softly. Let your calm be the all clear that travels back through the warren, because to your rabbit, that thump was never just a noise. It was a small, fierce act of love sent out into the dark on your behalf. And now that you know what it truly means, you'll never hear it as just a sound again.